Japan is the land of harmony, but in the silence something festers. A forest of death, secret war crimes, and a society built on invisible chains. You were never meant to hear this story. Until now. Japan, the land of the rising sun. A country where ancient tradition and futuristic technology coexist in a delicate dance of beauty and efficiency. A land of samurai, cherry blossoms, and silent discipline. But light creates shadows, and some of Japan's darkest truths hide just beyond the reach of that glow. Tonight, we go where tourists are never taken. Beyond the serene temples and spotless trains. Beneath the corporate glass and the sakura trees. Into the abyss Japan keeps hidden from the world, and sometimes even from itself. This is the truth behind the silence. This is Whispers Beneath the Rising Sun. Chapter 1. The Forest That Feeds on Souls, Akugahara. At the base of Mount Fuji lies a forest so dense, so silent, it swallows sound. Aokigahara, the Sea of Trees. But to the world it's better known by another name. The Suicide Forest. Each year, dozens of bodies are recovered, some hanging from tree limbs, some curled beneath moss, surrounded by nothing but a backpack, a note, and silence. Why here? Some blame ancient folklore, that this forest is haunted by yuri, tormented spirits who tempt the grieving to their doom. Others point to the magnetic fields which can throw off compasses, making escape nearly impossible. And yet, tourists still enter, cameras in hand, as if this place were an attraction. But make no mistake, Aokigahara is not a spectacle. It is a mass grave wrapped in branches. Locals avoid it. Park rangers carry body bags as part of their daily job. Signs plead for life. Think of your family, you are not alone. But those who walk in often believe otherwise. Chapter 2. Shadows of Empire. Unit 3100. World War II revealed horrors across the globe, but some of the worst atrocities weren't broadcast. They were buried deep in the snow of occupied China. Unit 731 was Japan's secret biological warfare program. Based in Harbin, Manchuria, it masqueraded as a water purification unit. In truth, it was a death factory. Human experimentation without anesthesia, vivisections on living prisoners, biological weapons tested on civilians. Pregnant women were raped by guards to see how diseases would affect unborn children. Frostbite was studied by shattering limbs with blunt instruments. Plague bombs were dropped on villages to observe mass infection. Over 3,000 people, Chinese, Korean, Russian, were sacrificed in these experiments. The lead scientist, Shiro Ishii, called it research in the name of science. But the darkest part? After the war, the U.S. granted immunity to Unit 731 scientists in exchange for their data. No Nuremberg, no trials, just redacted files and silence. Japan never officially acknowledged Unit 731. Most citizens never learn about it. And those who do? They rarely speak. Chapter 3. The Untouchables. Burakumin. Japan prides itself on being a homogeneous society, harmony, uniformity, honor. But hidden within that unity lies a caste of people still punished for the sins of the past. The Burakumin, descendants of feudal-era workers who handled death, executioners, butchers, undertakers. In a society built on purity and ritual, they were considered tainted. Though legal discrimination was outlawed decades ago, societal prejudice endures. In secret databases, some employers track Burakumin family lines. In arranged marriages, backgrounds are quietly researched. And when their origin is exposed, jobs vanish, opportunities disappear, doors close silently. You won't see protests. You won't hear outrage. But in the shadows of Japan's perfection is a social hierarchy built on invisible chains. Some barakumas still change their names, move cities, or conceal their ancestry just to be treated as human. Chapter 4. Prisoners in their own homes. Hikikomori. Imagine locking yourself in your room for 1 year. Now imagine 5, 10, 20. In Japan, an estimated 1 million people live as hikikomori, modern-day hermits who refuse to leave their homes, sometimes not even their bedrooms. They don't work, don't study, don't speak to their families. Some haven't seen daylight in years. Most are men, pressured by expectations, failures, or trauma. When society demanded perfection, they chose isolation. Japan's culture of shame doesn't allow for open failure, so they vanish, and their families, shamed by the stigma, keep quiet. The parents of hikikomori are called the silent sufferers. Many are elderly. Some die with their adult child still trapped in the room next door, an entire generation lost behind closed doors. And now, a new term has emerged, kodokushi, death by loneliness, dying alone, undiscovered, sometimes for months. It's not a trend. It's an epidemic. Chapter 5. Selling Innocence. Enjo Kosai. In the bright lights of Akihabara and Shibuya, a darker economy hides behind pop culture. Enjo Kosai compensated dating is the unspoken agreement where teenage girls are paid by older men for dates. Sometimes it's dinner, sometimes more. Legally, it walks a gray line. Morally, it's a minefield. Young girls, lured by easy money, buy designer goods and live in secret. Some are pressured, some are trafficked. Some disappear entirely, vanishing into sex trafficking pipelines that Japan refuses to admit exist. Japan has laws, but loopholes allow JK cafes where men pay to talk or walk with school-aged girls. Behind closed doors, some of those businesses serve more than just tea. The government cracks down on paper, but the culture that idolizes youth and silences shame allows it to continue in whispers. Chapter 6. The Invisible Empire, the Yakuza. They are the ghosts of modern Japan. They once carried swords, now they carry briefcases. The Yakuza, the Japanese mafia, are not like their Western counterparts. They are less hidden, less violent, but far more embedded. For decades, Yakuza groups controlled real estate, entertainment, politics, and even disaster relief contracts. After the 2011 earthquake and tsunami, Yakuza groups delivered food faster than the government. They run front companies, own buildings, manipulate stock markets, and sometimes even host press conferences. Many Yakuza members still follow ancient codes: loyalty, honor, ritualistic self-amputation of fingers as punishment. Their bodies bear full-body tattoos, a mark of status and a sign of exclusion. Yakuza are banned from gyms, pools, and public baths. But here's the truth. The real power no longer lies in the shadows. It's in boardrooms, real estate, financial markets. Crackdowns forced them underground. They didn't die, they adapted. Chapter 7. The Lingering Poison. Fukushima. March 11, 2011. An earthquake triggered a tsunami. The tsunami caused the meltdown of 3 nuclear reactors in Fukushima. The world watched in horror. And then it moved on. But Fukushima didn't end. It only faded from headlines. Entire towns were evacuated. Children left their homes and never returned. Farmers poured contaminated milk into sewers. The government claimed the radiation was contained. But workers spoke out about cover-ups, about radiation suits torn and reused, about water leaks buried under silence. One cleanup worker turned whistleblower disappeared. Others died from unrelated causes. The official narrative remains: everything is under control. But residents of nearby areas report increased thyroid cancers, unexplained illnesses, and birth defects. Millions of gallons of radioactive water have been stored, slowly being released into the ocean. The soil remembers. And the future is uncertain. Japan is a land of paradoxes. Beauty and brutality, discipline and denial. A place where silence is a virtue, but sometimes silence hides the scream. From the cursed forest of Aokigahara to the buried crimes of Unit 731, from forgotten castes and invisible prisoners to corporate criminals in suits, from exploited children to radioactive futures. The rising sun casts long shadows. These are the stories they don't teach in schools, the truths buried beneath politeness, tradition, and pride, but beneath the surface, they still burn, still whisper. And if you listen closely, in the quiet of the night you'll hear them, the whispers beneath the rising sun.